Lauren, if you haven't started yet, I think you can start the recording now. Okay, awesome. So welcome to the Give Token Economy Sprint 9 check-in. Today is Wednesday, June 2nd, and we're just going to go each take a turn and we can share what's alive for us right now and what our intention is for the call, and if you've got any distractions going on. I can share first. I am feeling super productive today. Have done a lot of like GitHub cleaning up now that I have access again. I went through my inbox, which was a little overwhelming. Now it's cleared out. My intention is, to check in on all of our different Sprint 9 priorities and see if there's anything that I can support the team on, and if we have some extra time, maybe hacking through some stuff, and just here to sync up with everybody. And I do not have any distractions. I will pass it to Griff.
Sorry about that. I have no strong intentions for the call other than starting this Rinkeby testnet planning, basically the short-term plan for just like how we're going to test the different Rink pieces on Rinkeby so I can get that validated. I just need to work on that and plan a hack session with Forrest later tonight. And that's was there like a question? I don't think there was a question, right? It's just intentions, distractions.
Just intentions, distractions, or what's
cool.
alive for you.
Oh man, lots of things are alive. I can hear them everywhere. Man, it's so cool.
Bienvenidos.
Yeah, it's really nice. Oh wow, we're all in Costa Rica. What are we doing? We should have just met up at like a pizza shop or something.
Pizza shop. How far would we have to go to find one of those?
Yeah, clearly I haven't been here very long. I'll pass it to you, Ashley.
I'm doing pretty good. I guess what's most alive for me is just really I've been taking on a lot of tasks and I've been doing the majority of them, but there's just like a few final steps to a lot of these tasks that I haven't completed yet. So today I've been spending the time to go through and kind of like zip everything up. My intentions for the call is just to kind of see where we're at in the sprint and what next action items I should be taking. And I don't really have any distractions, so I'm here and I'll pass it to Lauren.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, I have to double unmute. Hey, my intentions for the call are just to sync up with you. I mean, it sounds really great to talk about like test planning for gardens. I think it would be nice to like organize energy around that. And I also started working on the airdrop post like earlier this week, or maybe late of last week. And so I don't know. I have like a couple of questions about that. So my intentions for this call are just to like sync up and get those things addressed. What's alive for me right now is, I don't know. Lots of things. I'm doing fine. And I am only distracted by like trying to figure out what were my questions about the airdrop post that I wanted to ask. And I'll pass to Forrest.
Nice. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, cool. I love that your distraction was just remembering the questions. Okay, so we can run through the priorities that we outlined in our planning call / kickoff last week. I think unless you have something to share on the topic of airdrop, Griff, we can wait until Bowen joins us in like 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So then our other priorities were around the Giveth Gardens Covenant, which, as I understand, has been completed and uploaded. So that one is checkmarked complete.
Yeah,
that
I
right?
have just like a comment. I noticed on the gardens. I don't know. It ended up being the mission, vision, values. I sent the link to the covenant, but for some reason, the mission, vision, values is up there instead of like the covenant that I wrote, which was like more of a fork from the One Hive one that has like more specific like information about like don't be violent and sexually harass people. But I don't know. I don't think it's important right now for the testnet one. I mean, we could just leave it like it is, but. Just to mention.
So it's just sort of like our test covenant, and then when we actually launch, it won't be automatically the one used. Like we'll have an opportunity to upload the proper one.
Yeah, we can change it later before we officially launch.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good to me. Are there any objections? Approved. Okay, so then launching Giveth Gardens. We're currently in, as far as I am aware, currently in the test phase. Anyone interested in testing can get test tokens. How is that going? Oh, Griff, I hear or I see you, but I don't hear you. You're on mute.
I just remember I ended up getting test honey, so I assume everyone needs that. So I should probably just send it to you all.
Awesome.
I think also there was a type form that I found where you could like just put in your address and your name and then they send you test honey. I posted it in one of the channels. I could tag people.
Okay.
Did you get sent some?
I don't know if I got sent it from the type form or if I got sent it from Gabby because I like nagged a bunch of people about test honey and then like 3 different people were like, I'll send you test honey. And at the end of the day, I had test honey. So.
Because I filled out the type form, but I didn't get any yet. So
Okay.
I don't know if that was the source.
Maybe it doesn't work.
I think that they were using it to test like the Rinkeby farming, the tulip farming that they were doing, and now that that's over, I don't know that anybody checks that type form anymore.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that if we want to test, we should ping Griff or Gabby for honey.
Or Lauren.
Or Lauren.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And is there any like instructions around testing or like core things that we're looking for?
No, not yet. We need to get the. I really want. I mean, I don't really feel like we need to test gardens that much. They have a bunch of other people testing it, and that's really nice for us. I'm trying to get the airdrop. We actually launched the smart contracts on XDive, but we haven't. Or sorry, on Rinkeby, but we don't. I'm trying to get a hold of Delphi, who made the front ends for him, and set up a time so we can just hack it all together. Because that's what really matters. It's testing the front ends, and it'll just say DApp node everywhere, because that's what they have. So we'll be testing the DApp node front ends, and then we'll throw it at Marco to like make it pretty, make it Giveth-y.
Okay. And I don't know if it's my connection or your connection, Griff, but at the beginning of your share, it was really choppy and robotic. I didn't catch what you said before that we launched smart contracts on Rinkeby and you're going to hack with Delphi and hack it all together.
That sounds like complete. I don't think I said anything of value past that.
Okay. Not anything about like instructions for testing or things that testers should focus on.
No, I mean, it's really just like, how is the claiming experience? I mean, the other stuff is just like, it'll be for dap node. All the UI is built around dap node, so we'll just need to conform it to Giveth and make it Giveth-y.
Okay, awesome.
And so that's the first step is the airdrop, and then the next ideally would be give backs. I'm gonna have a call with Fabio hopefully Friday.
Okay, awesome. Anything else around Giveth Gardens?
No, other than they're promoting us in their blog posts and such. We're definitely one of their favorites. We're their favorite gardens.
I've been noticing a lot of new people on the server lately. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Sure.
That's sweet. Thanks, OneHive. Okay, so then our next priority is the Rinkeby testing roadmap. Just some updates here. I personally had a really awesome one-on-one with Monique around project management and road mapping and stuff. So I'm feeling a little bit more clear on some methodologies. And then also we have obviously this is like not directly related, but somewhat related. We have on tomorrow morning, the team is collaborating and beginning our workshop series around the high level road mapping, which everything will kind of funnel into. And then Griff and I are going to be hacking this evening, and then again probably Friday night or another night this week. So we haven't really started on this a lot yet, but we are working on it tonight. Okay. And 3-box integration. Does anyone know the status of progress on that from the devs? Doesn't sound
I've heard talk
Yeah.
about 3-box migrate, that 3-box isn't going to be a thing anymore, and that they're like moving to IDX. So there's been talk about using IDX, but other than that, I don't think any progress has been made in that area.
Okay. Cool. All right. And then is that a Bowen that we have? Fellow spacer?
Looks like they don't have any bandwidth, so it's probably Bowen in the car or something.
Yeah. Okay. We'll give them a moment. Okay. So then our next sprint priority is make staging.giveth.io available on the Rinkeby network.
Kai was saying that he was going to cover that, and I'm going to try to get Fabio to work with him on it.
Awesome. Okay. Beautiful. And then hiring the Solidity dev. What is the latest on that interview process?
I would say that the candidates that made it far have ended their journeys, and now we're pushing. We have Ashley set up a bunch of awesome interviews tomorrow, and there was one today, but the guy didn't show up, and so we'll just have to see if he wants to do another interview some other time or not, and then yeah, we're still looking.
Hey, I was just talking with Danny, and she had mentioned something that might be useful in this area. If we could offer some sort of like finder's reward or like reference reward for people who are the reference who referred like the chosen candidate or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something, you know, we could offer some sort of token or something to somebody
Yeah,
for being
absolutely.
the finder.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Okay, cool.
I'm down.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we can call it like a referral bonus, I think is usually the terminology. And
Okay,
how
cool.
would we promote that? Like just reaching out, like doing some outreach to people that we know have big networks and letting them know. Or would we actually like post that we're doing like a referral bonus even on like our social and Discord channels?
I think we should post it all over wherever we post the job listing. And I have a plan. I haven't done it yet, but I have a plan to go through some of the Discord servers that I went through before and maybe make another post. And then I can put it in there as well, because I know there's there's the Women of Crypto server where there's a bunch of artists and stuff, but they all are connected mostly with NFTs. You know, so maybe the people in those servers aren't quite working with this what we're looking for, but they might know people. So I think that those might be good outlets.
I would just say a one ether bounty on it.
Holy cow! Really? Okay.
Yeah. One ether, but to the person assuming that I would just put like, assuming that we hire them and that they stay for, you know, some amount of time. I don't know. How does it, does anyone know how referral bonuses usually work?
Yeah, that sounds along the lines of how it worked at my last company. It was if they stayed, I think, for 6 months, and like the bonus was distributed once the 6 months hit.
Yeah.
How
You could
long
do 3 months. You could do
this
like whatever
position
amount of
lasting
time.
for? I mean, is this person that we hire going to stay on indefinitely, or is this a time?
Yeah, we would want them. That's the whole point, that they would be our lead slate dev and they would be like there forever.
Okay,
You know?
cool. Well, that makes sense.
And maybe we would do like, if we hire them, half an ether, and if they stay for 6 months, if they stay for 6 months, then another half an ether.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
And who knows how much that half an ether will be worth in 6 months? Might be $50. No. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Excited to come over.
Yeah, women in crypto would be awesome. Down with the patriarchy.
Yeah, I'm actually in that Telegram group, so I want to post it in there as well too. Danny was like, "It needs to be a woman."
It would be so nice.
And then I know that the hiring of the back-end developer was held up because we wanted James and Mateo's commentary on it, and I admittedly don't have the balls to message James again about yeah, I don't know if it doesn't seem like he's too keen on giving like feedback on that position. So I'm just curious. I know Griff,
we need Mateo's feedback then.
Okay.
I mean, we need to know what they need to know. Like I can't tell you what would be the ideal like software background for the dev on. I barely pay attention to Giveth.io, honestly, just straight up. Like I have no idea what on the, especially the tech details. Like they're talking Vercel. I thought they were using Netlify. Like I'm totally out of the loop here. So like, I mean, I probably even wrote Netlify in the ad. I can't. It'd be stupid for me to do this. We need to have Mateo or Kai. If Mateo can't do it, then Kai probably know like what the backend dev needs to know.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I had messaged Mateo a while ago, and he said like he would take a look, but I don't think he has.
I also think that we should use I think that the intro is a little too lovey-dovey for a backend dev audience.
Okay.
And maybe just use the crypto jobs intro for the most part. Like, look, Giveth is like a super badass crypto org that has saved the whole crypto universe so much money and blah, 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 so much credibility. You want to work for us.
Okay, cool. I just made that comment in the doc.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Sorry, I should have said that a week ago. I thought I made a comment in the doc, but maybe not.
And yeah, Mateo just said, oh my God, I completely forgot, of course. So he's going to take a look, and I will message Kai as well. Might as well get all the feedback. Okay, done. Mateo. Feedback. Let's take a look as well. Okay, for us to replace the current intro with crypto job list intro. Okay, cool. And then our next sprint priority is around the Givebacks program comms messaging. So I just pasted our latest update from like our last comms meeting around airdrop and Givebacks program comm stuff. So as Lauren mentioned in her check-in, she's in progress on the airdrop article. And I think this is a good time, Lauren. You said you had some questions you wanted to address. We can talk through that.
Yeah. Well, maybe just one question. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to take my headphones out because it's distracting for my own voice. Okay, that's better. Okay, so my question is basically about the lockup. So like part of the tokens are being sent to like the gardens that are going to be like distributed for proposals. So are these tokens like also locked up? I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, we haven't totally sorted. Like, we need to really sit down and figure this out, honestly, because there's like a lot of moving parts. Liquidity mining is attached to gardens. Well, it's not we're not using the one that's attached to gardens, but like there's gardens, there's liquidity mining, and there's the airdrop, and we kind of got to look at all of them together to understand exactly how we want to do it. But my initial thoughts are that yes, the tokens for the conviction voting DAO are locked a percent, with the same global lockup period as everybody else. And maybe we should also get rid of the term lockup for something more positive. And so there will be like we'll have to figure out how we can claim the funds and make them go into the DAO on a regular basis. But there's this dynamic issuance as part of Gardens. So there's this idea like, and I was talking to Gabby about it, and we don't know how to address it yet, but the dynamic issuance is set to be a percentage of the total supply, and it knows all of the tokens. We don't have a good way of saying, oh, don't count these as the total supply that's in the lockup. So if we could, I'm hoping that I can get the dynamic issuance that's like just printing Giveth tokens when there's not much funding in the funding pool. So like the dynamic issuance is set to be like maintain that there's some percentage, let's say 20% of all the tokens that exist, the total supply, are in the funding pool. So it'll just mint more tokens out of thin air if we have less than 20% of the tokens in the funding pool. And if we have more than 20% in the funding pool, then it will actually burn tokens in the funding pool. So in that way, we have this like zero interest issuance or 0% inflation, right? Issuance. It's not inflation, it's issuance. But in a dream world, you know, the airdrop, the like unlocking period would be with everybody else, and this one contract would be like, that's not part of the total supply, you know, for the dynamic issuance. And then it would just like, as the total supply goes up for everybody else, it would also go up for our conviction voting funding pool, you know, and then it would be perfect. And that's what I really want to make happen, but we'll see, you know. There's a lot of other issues that have to work out too. And the other thing, this is where liquidity mining comes in. We got to do the math for liquidity mining to really figure out what percentage of tokens we want to unlock at the beginning. The fewer tokens we unlock at the beginning, the higher the like APRs are, you know, like, because there'll be a higher percentage that's locked, and that means there's less liquid tokens to put in the liquidity pools. So there's like a less total supply, but we're rewarding people with some unlockable tokens and some claimable tokens. So like that makes the APY or APR look really, really high, even though they only get a fractional percent claimed. So we have to like really just figure out and massage those numbers and debate as a team like where we want them, you know. But first we'll clean it up and make it presentable so that you'll have the data and give you a couple options or a range. Maybe we'll put it on token log. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but that's like the moving parts here. Does any of that even make sense?
Yeah, more or less.
It's an initial starting place, and maybe that looks great, but we have to actually do the liquidity. Like the math is super easy. Like the math was okay. It's not super easy, but we don't know the outputs of that input yet, right? So we can derive the outputs and then decide that we like that input, but we shouldn't be committed to saying, oh, 13% is great. We'll see what happens. You know, like we'll have to actually see.
Okay, and then so practically then that means that like we can only like we have to basically like wait 4 years until we can actually be like allocating more funds to proposals. Initially we're just going to have like a small amount.
Yes, initially we'll have a small amount of GIV tokens, like 13% of the GIV tokens total supply or whatever, and then it will just be like a slow drip every day into the funding pool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Thank you.
Well, yeah, that was kind of my question when I was reviewing that article as well. I was under the impression that a lot of those numbers are just placeholders and haven't been necessarily confirmed at this point.
Yeah. But they're not hard to confirm. And this is part of the stuff that I want to do with Forest is like map out all of these issues and like spec it out and say what we have to do to confirm them and then start doing it, you know. But right now it's just not even, we haven't written down what we have to do. It's just like all in my head. Like, oh yeah, we need that. Oh yeah, we need that. Oh yeah, we need that. No, we'll never do it if it's not written in some GitHub issues or something. Like Edu has the whole liquidity mining Excel spreadsheet already done. Like all of this stuff was done for Edu. We just have to like grab it and do it. And it's really a fun spreadsheet too. I showed it to Willie. I'm pretty sure Willie wants to do the liquidity mining one.
Lauren, did you have any other questions around the airdrop article?
No, not really. That was the only thing that I wasn't like really sure about. And then I guess think for the most part it's like not very finishable right now. I'm gonna just still wait. As I'm writing things, I want to talk about liquidity mining, and I'm like, okay, well, just like wait to write that whole section. And I feel like to make it comprehensive and complete, it might just be like more efficient to wait.
So is the staking tokens to projects, does that have to do with the liquidity mining part, or is that a step even after that?
Yeah, there's no staking. We can even just forget about that. That's like our plan, our road to decentralization of project verification.
Okay.
But that's going to take a long time. We need the smart contract dev.
So where do we plan on having our farms? It's a whole new thing that DAppNode's building.
It'll be its own website, and did you guys ever get to see the DAppNode like Figma files that were like, they showed like the claimable and this whole thing? I mean, I'm trying to get Delphi to deploy it soon, so it should be deployed. The smart contracts are deployed, and like it's really just, I don't even think I need to be there, but I'm just going to try to get a call in with all these Europe people, and I don't know how to squeeze it in. So probably be Friday.
Good luck. I've seen your calendar.
Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate the support.
I could try to help you, but I think you're better off doing it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just like, oh, okay, I have 2 slots, and then there's 3 other people that need to be there in Europe. So, oh shit. Yeah. But hopefully I don't need to be there. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know why I need to be there. Honestly, I can't help people with this.
Yeah. Well, I guess that brings us to the main point on this section, is that like both of these pieces are kind of stuck in work in progress until we have a lot more clarification. But I keep adding a few things as we go to the how givebacks work one, and trying to change it, but I'm also not like spending a whole lot of my bandwidth on making it publishable at this point.
We need to add givebacks to Giveth Trace if Giveth Trace is going to go live.
Yeah, you think we should? Is that possible? Because it's on XDAI.
No, givebacks are totally like off chain. So what we really need is just a way to track donations from on the bridge. And that's it.
But the Guardians is on XDAI, so in order for them to use their tokens on XDAI, they would have to bridge them over, or?
Well, the Giveth one DApp has a bridge to Rinkeby. This is the first bridge ever in production. That's still the oldest bridge in production.
Right, but if we give tokens to donors on Giveth Trace, how are they going to bridge them over to be able to use them for Garden?
We won't give them on Trace. We'll give them for donating to Trace, and we'll give them to the address that they donated from, but it'll be on XDAI.
Okay.
So they will have, just like on Giveth.io, if someone donates, if they donate Ether or they donate DAI on Ethereum mainnet, they'll still get, we'll wait at the end of the 2 weeks, we'll just take all of that data, right? This address donated 1 Ether on Ethereum. That's worth, at the time, that was worth $3,000. The same address donated 10x DAI. So now $3,010. Oh, and on Trace, they donated 1,000 DAI. Okay, so that's this amount. Okay, cool. Now you get, well, I guess we'd also have to have verified projects on Trace.
Right.
This is the stuff about like, what do we do with Trace? How do we get Trace into the loop,
I feel like slowly we take the features from Trace that people like and really want and figure out how to add them together, you know, so that Giveth.io and Trace meet somewhere. There's some crossroads in the future where they meet and become one.
Totally. But in the short term, I assume we should, if people donate on Giveth Trace, we should give them GIV tokens, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. It follows everything, follows our goals, you know, it's headed towards the same place that we are.
And then then we must have to have verified projects on Giveth Trace too.
Yeah. I've done a lot of research in this area, and it seems like there's a whole lot of math and data collection behind a lot of the ways that other platforms verify projects in an automated sort of way. And a lot of it doesn't make sense to me, and it seems like it would be a lot of work just to learn how it works to try to implement it. And so that's why I haven't really dove in. I've just kind of skimmed a few different sites and different ways that we could possibly come up with some sort of score or things like that in an automated way, but it all just seems like a whole lot.
I don't think automated is the way.
So it's just like us manually hosting verification parties, you know, forever. Okay.
Not forever. We replace ourselves with the staking contracts. That's the goal.
Eventually. Okay.
Yeah. Once we have the smart contract dev, that's his job. That's his job. That's why we're hiring the smart contract dev. And the sooner we get him, the sooner we can fork code that already exists and add just a few little things. And then
so the implementation of IDX or 3box or whichever verification thing we choose to use is just as a helpful tool for the verification parties and not necessarily going to take the place of verification parties.
Yeah. So it's kind of two different things that are both needed. The 3box specifically looks for blocks impersonators. IDX stops someone from being like, "Hey, I'm Save the Children. Look, isn't Save the Children great? Well, yeah, Save the Children is great. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're a verified project on whatever. So yeah, guess what? Donation goes to me, and I buy beer with it. You know?
Yeah, no, totally. But it just goes towards helping us be more confident in our decisions and not necessarily to take the place of us.
Yeah, it automates that check. Is this person
cool.
impersonating someone else? Like, oh yeah, they verified their Twitter. Oh yeah, and then we would have to go check. Yeah, that's the real Twitter account, you know?
Well, I see DeForest typing in the document here under project verification, but I don't know if we're to that section, but I did end up migrating the type form, so we have it on our Giveth account now. I put the new link there under that bullet point so that we can direct people there instead. But as of right now, our collected results are still on the common stacked one. So I'm not sure how to do the assigning of the projects for this next party because we don't all have access to that account. Should I just screenshot maybe it or copy it and put it in a document, and then when we assign it, we can just take that document, and that way we wouldn't have to access the account? I don't know. What's the best way to do that?
Either one, either like if it's on a web link that doesn't allow you to copy the table over into a Google spreadsheet, for example, easily, then I would just do what you said, screenshot it and put it in like a Google Doc that we can all collaborate from, or a Notion doc. Maybe Notion would be better since we have the project verification section under our Give token Notion.
All right. Well, I guess that will be my next step since I migrated the form. I'll go ahead and in our direct message between us for the verification parties, I will put the 4 responses that we've found and we can each claim them from there. And then there's just 2 that I haven't heard from that I directed to the common stack thing. But after that, everybody will be directed to the Giveth type form and we can just view the results there. I do have that spreadsheet. I don't know if it's easily accessible right now, but where I put the results. But it's not like the spreadsheet that's created from the form itself, because that just has all the answers in it. I just made a simple one with this person, this project, verified, not verified, essentially. So
Okay. And then, so in this new adaptation where we're individually reviewing, do we only want to schedule a project verification party if we have like edge cases, or we have some like uncertainties about whether to very obviously approve or reject, and we want to discuss it on call? Or do we want to schedule one regardless to, share the results and talk through how this process went and adapt, make any like notes of how we want to adapt for the next time?
yeah, I think having a call regardless and sharing our results, we don't need to go through all the applications together, but just like kind of give the high points if there was anything that we learned that would be helpful in the next round. And then also just to get in the habit of having them. And maybe instead of assigning the next round of projects within a direct message between the three of us, that way, I know Danny Bella expressed interest as maybe wanting to get involved in that process, or maybe other people also want to, get involved in the project verification process, and that would allow them the entry point to do so.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. That sounds great. This here, and then for the step of sending out another round of applicants, I guess we can discuss that after. Are we wanting to decide on the next round of applicants before our verification party, and then on the verification party we're like coming with ideas, or when at what point do we want to send out, like decide the next round of projects to invite and send those emails out?
Yeah, that was actually one of the questions I had too, because as we're going through this, we're learning more and more. And I think at this point we're getting, kind of streamlined in our process. So I don't know how necessary it is to keep doing this at a regular basis, or if we just like wait until launch and then just make a big announcement and let people apply for themselves, or, how many rounds do we do where we personally reach out? So I wasn't sure if I should come up with another list of another 5 projects to reach out to this round, or, kind of how to move forward there.
Are there any active projects on Trace? Just really the Common Stack, right? And Fair Data Society. I think that's it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of active ones. I mean, Giveth is kind of active.
Oh yeah. I guess that's the other thing to test. I'm pretty sure we should let people be verified projects on Giveth Trace. So I don't know how we fold that into our process.
Can they use the same kind of badge, and like they would need also a back-end entry where they can put true or false, whether verified or not? So
yeah, they can.
Okay.
But more about like on the forum and for our parties, if there's like a conflict there in some of the wording, or I don't know, just like I mean, for instance, they do not have a donation address. I don't know if that matters, but
A donation address for each campaign or project, or what do you mean? Donation
yes,
address for what?
they don't. When you donate on Trace, you always are donating to the same place. Like you're interacting with the same smart contract every time, no matter who you're donating to. So I don't know. I think it's just the link. I assume that we would just be sending a different link, and that there's no conflicts on the form, but just making sure the form is also formatted so it can work on Trace and IO.
Yeah, and now that we just had this conversation, I'm realizing, like, in the introduction on the form, I mentioned something about being able to eventually stake them to projects, but is that something that we should just stay away from talking about until it's more of a realistic vision?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can talk about it as long as it's just like that one sentence that you just said, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just like
Yeah.
in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the goal is not to do manual project verification for the next 5 years. Not even the next. Ideally, it wouldn't even be the next 5 months. Like this is for, I mean, we need to do a little bit of road mapping, but in my opinion, this is like the first thing that we should be working on.
Yeah, and do you have a vision of what that might look like? So it's just like at the moment that somebody stakes a token to a project, then that project is automatically eligible for verification, or like how does that look to you?
Givebacks. Givebacks would be based on like how many tokens are staked behind the project. And
Okay, so
there'd
like
be
once the project reaches like 5 tokens staked, for
Yeah.
example, then they would reach verification status.
Yeah, or verification status wouldn't even be a thing. It would just be like it wouldn't be that it's a verified project. It's that someone wanted to skip state lock give tokens behind that project, right? Like,
Okay.
so like,
More of like a Panvala approach.
yeah, well, except the Panvala, you can sell the tokens. With this, it's like you literally send the tokens to a smart contract, your tokens, and you're like, hey, I love this charity. I'm gonna lock my tokens behind this charity for a year. And then depending on how many tokens and how long you lock them, that tells us how much givebacks we can actually send. And because of the lockup time, we can like really, if someone is just recycling donations, like it's not really that big of a deal. Like they won't be making that much money.
Okay,
And
so it would work like Panvala in the way that you could stake to projects for a certain outcome, for a certain bonus for that project, but the tokens would leave your wallet. They wouldn't stay in your wallet the way they do with Panvala. Okay.
exactly. And they wouldn't be claimable for some amount of time.
Okay. Just curious, because it's nice to have like
that we have to solve, but I don't think it's that hard. We just have to sit down and solve them. It would be good to have a token engineer around. Maybe we'll find one.
So I'm just noticing that we have only 5 minutes left on our call for today. And I both want to talk about, Givebacks design stuff, but also, Bowen was able to join us, and I'm really curious about the latest update on the airdrop closeout. So maybe we could just kind of jump to that while we have him on the line. Bowen, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yeah, I
Yep.
hear you great.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? I don't know exactly the state that the actual airdrop part is in yet, because I wasn't part of the discussions with Edu and everything. However, the very workable final list is done and ready to be processed into something that can be used by the airdrop contract. If I'm correct, Griff, because I think the last like 10 problems were worked out as edge cases, and I think it's ready to go. So like that particular piece of the monumental task is done.
Yeah. Did you already add the what do you call it? The names
The range.
to make like
It's on a separate page. So like 0x1 through 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and all of that. That's all already done, and it's on a separate page, and it's in the final airdrop or the airdrop test page. So it's like it's ready to go. That's
Great.
why as soon as you told me there was a problem, I fixed all of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then
I sent it to Edu, and he already deployed it. That's right. Thank you.
Awesome.
The other thing is, do we want to give a little bit of an airdrop to the DApp node developers? I guess it's like future contributors or something, or current contributors.
So I would say yes. And what we uncovered when the article was being written is that we have about 110 or 109,000 surplus that were not airdropped of the 15 million that we had earmarked. So there is an amount that, without fudging the numbers any further, we can put onto whatever we want.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's like whatever that 14 million number is minus 15 million, we have that many, or the other way around.
Yeah. Well, we can hold that back and just look at the airdrop and kind of maybe make a last adjustment and see if there's like other people that we feel like are not in the list. Like, I bet there's like some DApp node people that just aren't on the list, and it's like, oh, well, you did our airdrop. We should probably airdrop tokens to you. That would be rude.
Yeah. Well, I know that Edu's on the list and Lansky's on the list, and I don't know who all else is DApp node.
Carlos and Pablo and Afri and that's pretty much it.
Okay. I didn't know Afri was with DApp node. That's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So that's there and we can use it. So we could like just divvy up what's left if you wanted between the three of them and see what that looks like.
We'll just leave it till the end and see if there's any other like people that we feel like are left out.
Okay. But that's all already done in the spreadsheet, and like all of the work can be checked because any of the combining addresses or combining totals that was done in Griff Magic. He taught me how to like read the numbers from a separate page, which was just insane to me. So like everything's there for transparency, and like anything that was super weird is also on an edge case list. So it's all there and open for anybody to see. Once we get there. Like, and when I say anyone, I kind of mean us, because it also identifies identities, which probably doesn't want to be public, but like, you know, the addresses, I guess, are kind of public anyway.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so that's the state of that as of right now.
Cool. Hey, Willie.
Hello. Sorry, everybody. I hope I didn't miss out on too much, but we'll definitely watch the recording. Anything you guys needed me for during the call that I can help out with in the final -2 seconds?
I think it was something having to do with looking at the liquidity mining spreadsheet.
Oh yeah.
And I want to look at that too when you do.
Yeah, are you interested in taking that on, Willie? Like figuring out, I mean, maybe we start with a hack session or something, but actually figuring out if our vesting choice is good and see what it results in for liquidity mining.
Yeah, I would love to take that on. That spreadsheet you sent me a while ago, that awesome spreadsheet Edu made, basically model out the liquidity mining program. Yeah.
And if you want to like have a starting hack session on it for like half an hour or something, because the spreadsheet's kind of wild, unless you feel like it's clear, I'd be very happy to support that and then check at the end.
Cool. Sounds great. I'd love to help out with that, and I'll take a look at it and let you know if need a hack sesh. Probably will.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else other than Forrest and I are going to hack on like a development roadmap and really identify all the questions. Sorry, the Rinkeby testnet like testing and identify the last questions that we need to ask and answer, and try to scope up the rest of the work before the airdrop, because that is really not that much.
Sweet. Yeah, we really are coming to the final pieces. It's all coming together. So yeah, givebacks is really one of the final pieces.
Yeah.
and then hammering down. Yeah, now it's the point where we really got to look at those numbers, like you said, and make sure that we have the right allocations for the liquidity mining and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting question, right? Like, I mean, do we want to have 500 APY and only unlock 5% of the tokens? Or do we want to have like, unlock 20% of the tokens and have, 300 APR, like 300% APR if half the tokens are in liquidity mining?
It's a great question, and we really should put some thought into it. That reminds me, one thing that I am glad that you reminded me about is I was talking with Edu about our liquidity mining contract, and we actually apparently we don't have the ability, from what I understand, to update the rate of distribution. Basically, with our liquidity mining contract, we pretty much set it up once, and then if we wanted to change it, I think we'd have to deploy another contract, and people would have to move their tokens, which isn't the worst, but something to note is that it's not the type where I think we can update the governance can say, let's change the rate, and then we can do that, and people can stay staked and start earning at the new rate. And so we'll basically have to pick, an amount of time and a rate that we want to commit to, like 30 days or something, or 90 days, whatever it is. And then we should talk with Edu about it. But from what I understand, I don't know if we can reinitialize the contract with a new rate, basically.
Yeah, I did talk to him about that, and it's just like the contracts have been used by so many different people that it's not really the cost of making people migrate versus making a change in these contracts is probably, it's hard to say if it's worth it.
Totally. So just hearing that, and what are your initial thoughts kind of for how long we should commit to with this first program? How long we should...
I mean, the cool thing is that we can like really figure out what a floor is for our APY, for our APR, and we can have very complete data to make these decisions. So I think we should be able to lock it for 6 months or even more. We can always deploy. Well, if we're really worried about it, we can always have multiple liquidity mining going on at the same time. If we wanted to add more, that would be very easy. It's more just like if we wanted to stop it, if it was like a bad thing, that would be really hard. But
cool.
maybe not impossible, because the RGIV DAO should be able to mess with that distro. So there might be something like, we can't stop the liquidity mining, but we can stop the fact that there's GIV tokens, like we could maybe like take the GIV tokens out of the contract.
If we wanted to stop it, cool. If we did have that ability, that'd be nice. And so if we needed to make a change, worst case, we could, and then have people migrate to a new pool at a new rate.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That should be possible. I'm pretty sure that we always have these like escape hatches and these sorts of things. We can always take the tokens out.
That's good to know. Cool. Are we?
Willie, it sounds like you're flying tonight, so you probably won't be available, but you're always welcome to join that hack session if you would like to.
You guys are hacking tonight?
Yeah, in like an hour and a half or an hour.
Cool. Yeah, I probably unfortunately won't be able to make it tonight. It's like the one night I can't.
No worries. Okay, cool. Well, we're 5 minutes over, so I just want to honor the time of the call. But thank you guys. I'm just going to highlight here the things that we didn't fully get to is the Givebox program design stuff, so I can message about that. And then for the airdrop closeout, I'm also going to highlight this because I just want to get really clear on what are the final things that we need to complete in the next week in order to be able to close this out fully. But awesome, Bowen, thank you so much for your update. Feels good to be closing big pieces of this out. So good work.
Well, thank you. Happy to do it.
One random thing, just while I don't know, Willie, or if you're still here. I don't know if you're still here. But Danny is talking about going to somewhere. What's the place called, Lauren? It's like north of It's got its own airport, and there's like a conference.
Nosara. Yeah.
Nostada. And getting like a big Airbnb or something, and having like a mini week-long Giveth retreat.
Ooh.
And having, just having us all be there on the beach. And then there's like a crypto conference on the 26th. And that would be pretty cool. It would be a work
I
retreat.
learned about the crypto conference is that because she was talking about maybe having you speak there, but then they really want it to be this like hippie closed container for creation thing. So it's like the people who want to attend this conference have to like be there for all of the things that they're doing. I'm still not opposed to going, but I don't know if the crypto conference necessarily needs to play a part.
Yeah. Or for some of us or not all of us.
What dates is Danny proposing for that? No, Sarah?
The 20th, that like driving up on the Saturday is what would work best for me since that's my day that I don't have calls. And then so road trip on Saturday, and then hang out for the week, and then I would fly out from there on Saturday.
No.
Where is this?
Costa Rica.
Just out of curiosity? Oh, okay. Copy that.
You're more than welcome to come, Bowen.
I'm super down.
I totally want to go down there and check it out. The crazy personal situation happening here is probably precluding anything until there's some type of resolution. But that being said, no, it's Luker's mom's sick essentially. So like, I'm down at the house that she lives in with Luker, and that's why the internet is bad. Is because we're not at home. We're like 45 minutes south of home. So
I'm sorry to hear that, Bowen.
It's all good. We're making it work.
Yeah.
And we just had an awesome time up north. So
yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. I'd be really curious if Willie was able to come too, or Hannah, or anybody else. If we can make it a thing, then it could be a thing.
Let's bring it up in the community call on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I feel like this is something that maybe you should propose sooner than Sunday if we're like hoping others can join, because that's only like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we could get Mateo, maybe even Juan Carlos.
That'd be amazing. Can get in touch with Danny and get a bit like more and kind of structure thing, and then are you okay, Griff, if once we have it more formulated, like posting about it in one of the Discord channels, tagging the course and seeing who's interested?
Yeah, I mean, I think also we can start doing word of mouth right now too, just like saving the dates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really soon. It's 2 weeks from now.
Can our Airbnb have a water slide?
Airbnb 2 weeks from now are not necessarily the easiest thing to like guarantee water slides.
But it's COVID.
But it's COVID. Maybe. I don't know. Is that a thing? I hope so.
I'm going to find out.
Is this crypto conference?
Airbnbs.
Is this crypto conference actually going on in Nosara?
Yes.
And that's why we picked Nosara? Okay, cool. Rad.